Nerding on the Dbacks! Woo!
Hello, welcome to Nerding on the Dbacks again. So, if you're wondering why we're not posting as much, well, let me just say everything goes wrong when we try and do these podcasts. It's hilarious. Like the video screen doesn't work, the audio doesn't work, the camera's falling. It's crazy.
Yeah, nice duck you got there. I'm Dad, by the way. This is Nerding on the Dbacks. I think you said that.
Yeah.
All right, good deal.
Nerding on the Dbacks.
Yeah, so guys, first I wanted to catch you guys up. Yeah, as Son said, we have been having a lot of issues with getting recordings working. I don't know. I'd like to say I worked it out. It's definitely better than last time. You could probably hear that. But hopefully it stays better than last time. And one thing I wanted to touch on last time before we get into our game, did he really just say that, is that you had your baseball season start and you played your first game about 10 days ago now. And it was your first game in over 4 years since you last played. 2019 was the last time you played. And you were the starting pitcher in that game.
Yeah.
And you walked the first guy that you saw, and then you struck out the next 6. Do I have that right?
I think so.
For 2 innings of work. Impressive. Quite a debut.
Yeah. And then I had an RBI double.
Yeah.
Which was also fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So, wow. Impressive for such a layoff. Good job, son. What's your team name? Do you have a team name?
The Vultures, I think.
The Vultures. All right. Yeah. So, hopefully we've got another game coming up this weekend. We've had so much rain here that they've been getting canceled out. So, we'll see. So, yeah.
No more rain.
Hey. As much as I love watching you play baseball, we need this rain. But the weeds need to stop. Good Lord. They're coming up fast.
That's why rain is there.
So we today are going to play Did You Really Just Say That? And we have one prediction coming off the board in Did You Really Just Say That?
Guess whose prediction it is.
That's right. Phoenix had one prediction come off that they would sign a left-handed batter or pitcher before opening day to a major league contract, and or acquire, I should say.
I really just said that.
Yeah, you nailed it. You really did just say that. So good job, buddy. So you got our first hit, first completed before we even had an empty at bat show up on the stat sheet. You got one hit in the column. And well done.
Guess who that left-handed hitter is? It is the one, the only, my first. Okay, I don't know.
I was supposed to be like ticking like a clock.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, anyways, the left-handed hitter is the guy that I picked in the DH draft, and it is the one, the only, Joc Pederson.
Yeah.
Joc Pederson.
Yeah, so if you want to hear all about our Joc Pederson recap where we talk all the crazy deep numbers, go back to our last episode where entitled We Got Your Guy, and we'll link to it here. You probably see it somewhere. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There it is.
No, it's right here.
Okay. Oh, not that far over.
Maybe right here.
Okay, enough with that.
Somewhere there.
So next we're going to start with getting into the game. Reminder that all of our predictions need to be quantifiable. We're going to make 3 predictions each, and we're going to keep.
I'll put the sign up on the. Okay,
and then
you guys can't see us now.
And then we're going to keep track of all these, like we just talked about, and keep track of everyone's batting averages, singles, doubles, and home runs. And let's see what it looks like at the end of the season.
Let's get to the fun part.
All right. So I'm going to get started this week with my first prediction. And following in your footsteps on the prediction that you got right, I am going to say the D-backs will acquire one right-handed hitter or switch hitter that will get an invite to spring training.
That's fun. I like that prediction.
I think there's a really good chance of this happening. This is, of course, February 7th, so they've really only got about 6 weeks left to make this happen. By an invite to spring training, I want to clarify this could also be because I don't want to go put my foot in the cow manure pile like I did with my prediction about the Diamondbacks never being on Amazon this season, because as soon as we got off that episode, I realized the folly in that prediction, and that obviously the Diamondbacks are going to be on Amazon because they're going to play the teams that are being broadcast on Amazon this upcoming season.
I remember him talking about that. Do you want to change it up a little bit?
Yeah, so it's not just an invite to spring training, because there's a really good chance that they acquire a player on what's called waiver wire claim. So the waiver wire process, do you know what the waiver wire process is? Do you have any idea? Okay. Speak up so the people at home listening on the pod can hear you.
No.
Well done. And so the waiver wire is if a player is on the 40-man roster and a team wants to remove him from their 40-man roster, and he has, or I should say, they want to remove him from the 26-man roster or the 40-man roster. And if it's on the 26 and he has no options, he goes through waivers. If they remove him from the 40-man roster, he goes through waivers. And waivers mean that the team with the worst record in the league can pick that player up to add to their own roster. And that player has to go on their own 40-man roster and or 26-man roster based on the situation. And if that's the case, if they choose to take that player and claim him off the waiver wire, they will assume all responsibilities for the contract that he has. So usually players that you see getting claimed on the waiver wire are minimum league contract. I'm saying that wrong. Why am I saying that so wrong? Minimum.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. The league minimum. They're getting paid the league minimum. There we go. So usually players that get picked up on the waiver wire are on the league minimum. So occasionally you'll see some teams will go and sign a player who they don't want to lose on the waiver wire, but they don't necessarily want to keep. You don't see this a lot, but it does happen occasionally for $200,000 or $300,000 more than league minimum. Because if it's not league minimum, it's very unlikely that any other team's going to claim him on the waiver wire if he gets removed from the 40-man roster or the 26-man roster. And so it's a little bit of gamesmanship by the teams. So it does happen. Usually you see maybe that happen only a couple times a season around the entire league, but it does happen.
Confusing. Okay.
Yeah. All leagues have crazy roster rules, and MLB is no different. So when I look at this, so what I mean is if they add someone through the waiver wire, because during spring training, a lot of guys, as guys get healthy or guys get hurt, whatever the case might be, as battles for positions on teams around the league start to get settled, guys will get sent through the waiver wire from a lot of teams, and almost every team will send a player or two through the waiver wire during the last week of spring training. And the Dbacks are likely to be doing that, and there's a pretty good chance they'll sign one or two of those, claim one or two of those players from the waiver wire as well. I'm not sure how the waiver wire priority works with the Dbacks from last season. If it's based on how far they went in the playoffs, that means they're going to be the second to the last team to get to claim. And if it is based on Ross record from last year, they're going to be the 16th team to get to claim. So there's a pretty big discrepancy there on the quality of player. But that said, I expect it to happen before waiver wire pickups, but it could be a waiver wire claim. And I think this is almost certainly going to be a backup catcher or an outfielder. I don't expect it by any means to be someone who plays in the infield. They've got Kevin Newman to be a right-hander in the infield to take over for Marte or Suarez versus lefties, and then have that guy go hit DH that day. And when Joc goes to the bench. And so, Kurt Kasuli, I keep pounding the drum on Kurt Kasuli. I think he would be a fantastic addition to this team. Adam Duvall, I could very well see getting picked up. I'd love to see Tommy Pham. I think that would be so much fun. With Joc on the team now, I don't know if that's going to happen. Who knows? They might have went out for beers and buried the hatchet after Slapgate. We just don't know. But
if you guys don't know what he's talking about, so I think Tommy Pham and Joc Pederson were playing each other in a game, and during warm-ups, Tommy Pham went up to Joc Pederson.
Yeah, Tommy Pham was playing for the Reds, and Pederson was playing for the Giants at the time.
Yep, and then just right in his face over a fantasy football thing, allegedly.
Ironically, if I understand correctly, a waiver wire claim dispute in fantasy football. After our waiver wire discussion about fantasy baseball or about MLB baseball. So yeah, I think it would be really entertaining to have Tommy Pham on this team. There are some other right-handed hitters out there. I had Aaron Hicks on this list, but he signed with a team because Aaron Hicks would have been perfect because he would be getting the major league minimum since he's still getting like $13 million from the Yankees this season.
So he signed with the Yankees?
No, he did not. He got released by the Yankees. He went through the waiver wire system last year, and because he had a contract, he did not get picked up on waivers. And then he refused an assignment to the minors, which he can do that because he had a major league contract and no options remaining. And so he refused an assignment and he became a free agent, and any team could sign him for the major league minimum at that point. And the Orioles did. And he was like the best player on the Orioles for about 6 weeks, which was and the Orioles were the team with the best record in Major League Baseball last year. And Aaron Hicks was the best hitter on their team for like 4 to 6 weeks after he got signed, after getting released by the Yankees. And then he got hurt, which is what happens to Aaron Hicks all the time. So he's good, but he's injured a lot. So I know there's certainly other guys out there. Michael A. Taylor would make sense, potentially.
Didn't he play for the Twins?
He did. The man can smash left-handed pitching, and he plays a Gold Glove caliber center field. He would be an awesome pairing with Alec Thomas out there, like a vastly superior defensive center fielder too.
And Lourdes. Yeah,
well, but I mean in center field, he'd be an upgrade on Corbin Carroll in center field. Adam Duvall wouldn't, for example. Yeah. Duvall would be moving to right. Tommy Pham would be moving to right.
Yeah.
So
all right.
So yeah, that's it. They'll sign they'll acquire a right-handed hitter. Could be through trade too. Maybe they go get Tyrone Taylor still. You never know.
Or a switch hitter.
Holding out hope, or a switch hitter. So I think Adam Duvall or Kurt Kasuli is the most likely, though.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Your first prediction.
Okay. Scroll down.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Not the best scrolling down drop. Okay. So, I mean, Joc Pederson signed with the team last week, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks now.
Yeah. Okay. So my first prediction is Joc Pederson will be a top 5 DH by batter WAR.
That's right.
FWAR. Yeah.
That's right. 4. Some people call it
4.
Yeah. That's fan. That F means Fangraphs.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you had said he would be a top 5 DH by WAR, and I'm like, which WAR are we going to use, Phoenix? And so that's why I specified Fangraphs WAR. That said, I mean, baseball's prospectus WAR and Fangraphs WAR are usually pretty close for hitters. It's pitchers that they have a big discrepancy. So yeah, that's. So what are we looking at here? What kind of qualifiers are we putting in for the top 5 DH? Because we got to make sure that we're getting, the right numbers in here.
Well, the minimum is 270 plate appearances.
Yeah, so we're going to make sure we have a 270. Why'd you pick 270?
Because it's on the screen.
So we had discussed this a little bit earlier, and it was because Brandon Belt, the Brandon Belt line, he was a DH last year that I think we would qualify for this, and he put up a 278 plate appearances, and so he was kind of the lowest plate appearances at DH. This is only for DH. We're only counting DH WAR, right?
Yeah. Not
WAR if they play a position, just when they're designated hitter.
Yeah.
So it has to be a minimum of 270 plate appearances as a DH, and it's only counting that WAR. Awesome. And so what was Joc last year?
Joc was 10th in 2023.
Yeah. And
with the Giants?
Yeah. He had a bit of a down year, so I think he could certainly be a top 5 DH. If he plays up to, as we said in our deep dive, if he plays up to his numbers, up to his StatCast numbers, what his StatCast metrics are saying he should be doing, he's going to be great there. So awesome. All right, I'm also going to do a Joc Pederson prediction, and I call this my Joc Pederson parlay. Do you remember what a parlay is, Phoenix?
It's like when you bet on a team to win.
It's when you make 2 or more bets.
Well, yeah.
And you're betting that they're both accurate.
I was gonna go, and then you bet on another team to win.
Yeah, that would work. That would be a good example of a parlay. So these are kind of like prop bet.
Let me say that into the microphone because I was like right here. So a parlay is like 2 bets made at once, right?
Yeah. Yes, 2 bets made on one. They call it a slip. So when you
slip a dip.
So if you make a $5 bet, you're putting both bets on one $5 bet that they're both going to hit. Each bet might be like a $5 bet to win 5. And if you do them together, rather than it being a $5 bet to win 10, which would be winning each of them individually, you're upping the ante, and maybe it's like a $5 bet to win 15 instead. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you can bet
on the
$10
bet to win 15.
Or you can bet on the kick of Dynasty with $5, and if you win, you get 200 bonus bets. Sponsor us, FanDuel.
I didn't even hear about that. That's funny.
Well, I watch a lot of YouTube, and it comes up a lot.
Fair.
Go Gronk.
It doesn't come up on my YouTube. Apparently, we watch different YouTube videos. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
So my Joc Pederson parlay is he will lead the team in starts as the cleanup hitter, and he will also lead the team in walks. And so if he stays healthy, and if everybody else, all the other outfielders stay relatively healthy as well, that's also a contingency here. Then him leading the team in starts as the cleanup hitter is pretty much a shoo-in. I mean, who else is going to do it? Gurriel, Walker, maybe. I'd really doubt it, though. I'm pretty certain he's gonna start this season as the 4 batter, and he's probably gonna hang on. He's good. I mean, the reason him being the 4 batter is why the Diamondbacks signed him in the first place. The team, all of the other options to hit cleanup for the most part are weak against right-handed pitching. Suarez, Moreno, Gurriel and Walker are good against right-handed pitching, but Suarez and Moreno, at least Moreno so far, are not that great. So he also, and so I think he's pretty much got that one on lockdown. I don't think there's a huge, as long as everyone stays healthy for the most part, he's gonna crush that. The harder part of this is he's gonna walk. He walks. The walks are going to be tougher. He walks at a higher rate than Perdomo, who had the highest walk rate on the team in 2023. And so, despite Perdomo, as long as Lawler doesn't take his job, Perdomo is going to be in the lineup pretty much every single game and batting ninth. That said, Pederson's going to be in the lineup for roughly 72% of the games, probably 75% of the games. So he's going to be in the lineup for a lot less games than Perdomo potentially. But batting fourth gives him about 80 more plate appearances in those starts versus batting ninth. And I say that because this is kind of an interesting thing, but every spot in the lineup, it comes to the plate during a full season about 18 times less than the spot right above it. So the batter, if a player batted all 162 games in the same spot at the one hole, he's going to lead the team in at bats. And then the batter who bats second is going to be about 18 plate appearances behind the batter in the first spot. And the batter who bats third is going to be about 18 plate appearances behind the player who bats second, and so on, all the way down the line. And so batting fourth in 72% of the games means that he'll get about 80 more plate appearances in those starts versus batting ninth. And so ultimately, they will probably come out about even in plate appearances. I just think Joc's going to walk more at a higher rate. And so toss in 20 or so pinch hit appearances that I think Pederson gets. I think it's going to happen. And of course, if Lawler takes over Perdomo's spot, I made in an earlier prediction halfway through the season or earlier, then I'm a shoe-in for this. Nobody else except for Perdomo on this team is likely to give Joc a run for his money at walks, provided he stays healthy. So that's my Joc Pederson parlay. And I'm going to be honest, I think this one should be a good double. I think this first one, the right-handed hitter, probably a home run, because that's going to be tough with how much time is left.
Yeah.
I think this first Pederson bet, I'd give it a solid double as well. I think he can do this pretty easily if he plays up. So now let's talk about your second one.
So my second prediction is another Joc Pederson, which it's similar to my Lourdes Gurriel prediction, but it's a little bit lower. So Joc Pederson will hit 21 home runs in 2024.
21 or more, you mean, right? Or do you mean exactly 21?
No, I mean 21 and more.
Okay.
24 home runs is 2024.
21 home runs. Okay, so
you literally typed though there. Wow.
So what's this here?
So the only time he passed that was in 2018.
Well, he's only passed it once.
Well, yeah.
Since 2018.
Well, yeah, the only time he passed it was...
No. He passed it in 2018, and he's only passed it once since then. In the last 5 seasons, he's only passed 21 home runs once.
Okay.
I would give this one a home run.
Yeah.
If you hit it. Because that's...
Funny, it's a home run prediction.
That's pretty low odds. I would give him about a 20% chance. I would say maybe like a 25% chance of him making this, which probably should actually be a double, but we could discuss it amongst ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, my third prediction, my third and final prediction is going to be the Dbacks will sign one player to an extension before the end of February. And actually, I want to extend this out because I'm going to say before the, I would say, let's say before March by the end of the day, March 8th. So before March 9th is what it's going to be. I think this is just a single. I don't know that there's a great chance of any of it happening, but it could. They've got a lot of players. An extension doesn't have to mean that it'll take a player past their ARB years, but it'll be a guarantee beyond 2024. And so I think the guys who are probably the most likely to get this would be Gabby, Gallen, Lawler. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I could see them. Jordan Lawler seems like the kind of player that, especially after his showing in September, which shouldn't really mean much, but could come into play, that they give him one of those extensions before opening day, making him effectively the opening day shortstop right from the get-go. Because if they give him an extension before opening day, he's going to be the opening day shortstop. And so I could also see it for Alec Thomas. Brendan Pfaadt could certainly get this. Wouldn't be surprised. It's much more unlikely for pitchers than it is for hitters, but it's possible. And also Christian Walker. Walker's older, but he's in the last year of his arbitration. And I wouldn't be surprised if he signed came back and signed like a 3-year extension with an option or something along those lines. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. So a lot of those extensions usually happen before like the midway of March. And I think they've got candidates, and it's certainly possible. They've got a lot of candidates. Yeah. To me, the most likely on this list is certainly Gabby Moreno. I think there's a really good chance. I didn't even think to look at who are the agents for these, because if any of them were Scott Boras clients, I would absolutely just take them off the list. For those of you who don't know, Boras clients rarely sign extensions with their team while they're still in their pre-arbitration years. It's so rare. So if any of these young guys are Boras clients, take them off the list. But I think Moreno and Walker are the most likely players on this list to get that extension. So go ahead, Phoenix, what's your final prediction?
My final prediction is going to eliminate any more players that will be on the 40-man roster come opening day. So no more signing, trading. Wait, trading is fine?
Nope.
Nope. No more trading or anything like that.
Yeah, yep. Or even waiver wire claims.
That comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Waiver wire claims.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, there could be an exception to this of they could claim somebody and he could, because this happens a lot during spring training as well. I feel sorry for these fringe guys. Like someone will get waived on like March 9th and they get claimed by another team and they're in another team's spring training camp come March 14th or whatever it is, or March 12th. I think they go really quick in spring training. During the regular season, waiver claims take longer, but during spring training, because guys have to get ready, I don't know this, but I would imagine that the waiver wire process goes a lot faster so that guys aren't missing out on important pre-spring training reps. And so, the D-backs could claim somebody and then put him right through waivers again before opening day. There are situations where guys get waived and claimed a few times during spring training. It's got to be brutal. They have no idea where they're going.
That sucks.
Yeah. There was one guy, I forget his name, a few years ago, who got waived 5 times in one season. He played for 6 different major league teams. He was a pitcher. He pitched at least 1/3 of an inning for 5 different major league teams. But one of those major league teams he pitched for on 2 separate waiver claim occasions.
Goodness.
Yeah, he got like waived by team 1, pitched, waived by team 1, pitched, waived by team 2, pitched, waived by team 3, pitched, waived by team 4, pitched, waived again by team 2, and then pitched and got waived by team 6.
Oh my goodness.
What a season. And then he's stuck with whatever the last team was. So yeah. Crazy. Yeah. That's how the waiver wire works. Being that fringe MLB player can be nuts. The D-backs, your last prediction is the D-backs will not acquire any more players that will be on their 40-man roster come opening day.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
That's our predictions.
Yeah. So did you really just say that? Let's see here. We've got we got a short time on a couple of these here with opening day deadlines, and then we've got a couple of full season predictions as well. So This will be fun. I love the opening day deadlines. We have quite a bit of them. We have 10 or 12 predictions for opening day.
I think so.
At this point, and not just spring training opening day. By the way, Pavin Smith's still on the team. That's good news. You got a fair shot at getting that prediction right. I'm still banking on Bryce Jarvis being the spring training opening day starting pitcher. Yeah. We'll find out. We got about 3 weeks to find out on that one. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in again. Yep. Appreciate it. Subscribe, rate, review. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment below. We'd love it. If you're listening to it on a podcast, please review us on the pod that you're listening to. Subscribe. It makes a world of difference in helping us, especially with the regular season coming up and football coming to an end. The common baseball fan, not like you guys out there who are the Diamondback super freaks. We want to start picking up more of the general baseball fan out there, general D-backs fan. And so
if you have any just friends who want to get into baseball and just
share,
don't know what baseball is, well, if they know what baseball is and they know how to play and stuff, but they just don't know a lot about the D-backs, share it to them, and we'll hopefully let them in on all the Lord Escurial hairstyles and much more. We
haven't had a lot of a ton of people listen to us yet or watch us, but the feedback from from a dozen or so of the people who have taken the time to get back to us about what they think it's great. So you probably do too if you're listening to us ramble still. And please then, your friends that are going to like this, your family members that are going to like this show, pass it to them. It would make a world of difference to me and my son. We would be so very grateful. So with that said, thank you very much.
Yep. And I'm just going to leave you off with you're enough.
You are enough.
You are enough. I don't want to turn around, but there's something on the back.
Yeah. We'll just let it go. Yeah, we'll post a photo up.
Yeah.
All right.
So it'll be in the cover.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day and share.